Hi everyone. Alright, so all I wanted you to do yesterday was create some radio buttons and put them right down here below your canvas. So let's get that started. Now, before we actually put in our radio buttons, what I want to do is I want to write a div element. Alright, this is going to be something that we use to contain our radio buttons. And the reason will become clear in a moment. So we're going to now create our input elements. Again, input is a unary element. You don't need to have an input start and an input close tag, so we're just going to do that. And then I'm also going to have a label element, and that's going to be where we put the name of that radio button. Alright, now the input will have the ID, the name, the type, and the value attributes, and label will have the for attribute. Alright, now the names for all of these are going to be the same. We're going to call this colors. The type for all of them will be the same as well. We're going to call these radio, and the rest of these will vary slightly, but we could just copy that, paste it 3 times since we want 3 checkboxes, and let's put this in here. I'm going to call this radio 0, or you can call it whatever you want. I'll call this radio 1. I'll call this radio 2. If you did this already, feel free to compare yours to mine, and feel free to differ from mine as well. It don't have to be exactly the same. Now I'm going to want to go red, green, blue. And for these values, I'm going to want to put in the hex values for those colors. So very simply, this first one will be hashtag FF0000. This one will be hashtag 00FF00. And this last one will be hashtag 0000FF. Alright. Now, for these labels, what I'm going to do in the first label, where it says label 4, since this is for that radio 0 element, so I'm just going to put that right there. Radio 0, this one will be for radio 1, and this one will be for radio 2. And then lastly, inside the labels, put what they actually are. This is red, this is green, and this is blue. Now that we've done that, we have these 3 checkboxes right below our canvas. Now, they're not really right below it, right? They're off to the left, and we would like to have them centered. Now, for the canvas class, I've been giving you this centered CSS class, which we see here, turns the display to block, and then sets margin right and margin left to auto. That's not really going to work for this because these are by default inline elements, and there's a series of them. So what we could do instead is I'm going to create a new class called .centered buttons, and a simple one-line thing. I'm just going to set the text align to center because, well, that's text. All right. So that if we apply that to the group of these together, they will all be centered. Now, how do we apply that to the group? Well, that's why we have the div, because the div is just a container, and all it does is it groups up its child elements, or the elements that are inside of it. So if I give div the class centered dash buttons now, you should see that these buttons are centered. Huzzah. And then lastly, so a lot of the times we like to start off with something already checked with a radio button. And in order to do that, you just add the checked attribute to one of your inputs. And now you'll see red starts off as checked. Alright, I know this was a quick one, but I'm trying to keep them short because I know the long ones are abusive. So, yeah, get this much done, and we will continue working on this tomorrow. See you in the next one. Bye. Oh, don't forget to do the attendance. I always forget to say that before I say bye. So, yeah, do that. Now bye.